importance of staying on your toes. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna jump into it, baby. So today, you know what we're talking about, right? Because I had to get the, what I'm saying, guns out. We're gonna talk about fitness, man. We're going in today, man. We gotta talk about the importance of being fit. Dude, this is like they're all golden topics, man. But this is a golden topic, man, because we gotta take care of our bodies. I want to talk a little bit more about it. It's something that I got to get better at. I always look at skating as like my workout, but I've been doing it for so long, it's really not a workout like that. You need to be lifting and running and whatever it is, but you just taking care of yourself for sure. And I was laughing with Morgan because Dylan, you know about what those ab wheels are, like where you like put your hands on the thing and you roll it out.
Yeah.
Bro, I used to do that for boxing practice all the time. I haven't done that thing for years. In fact, I couldn't even find it, and I looked in the garage and I was like, oh snap. I tried it out and I did, dude, maybe like I did it like 7 or 8 times. Bro, I felt it for like 4 days after that. Like my stomach, like I felt like I was all ripped, but it was really just like, bro, you need to do this more often because why are you so sore? So anyway,
Literally ripped.
you're legit, like I was just like I was torn up. But anyways, I just think it's super important to talk about this topic. So ideas and thoughts for you guys off the top of your head. Why is it so important? There's obvious reasons, but like maybe a little bit deeper. What are your immediate thoughts on why it's so important to be fit, especially in being an entrepreneur, let's say?
Um, Real quick, Leighton did like 7 or 8. I did 1 or 2, and I was like worse than him when it comes to like pain. So at least he did 7 or 8, dude. I seriously did 2 at Java's house, and I was like dying for like 3 days. I was telling him the other day I sneezed. And when like you sneeze and your stomach's like in pain because of like working it out, it was like you're like and like it hurts like as you sneeze. Like it was embarrassing. But I'll kind of take that one in the beginning. Right off the bat, like the main thing is what I would say is like if you're busting your butt to create an empire and you're not fit enough to be able to even enjoy it by the end of your efforts, like then what's the point, right? What's the point? Um, Obviously to like impact and help people, but like if you can't even enjoy what you did and the whole time you were just nose to the grind, like just busting your butt, and then by the end of it, 10 years later, you're super in like super bad health because you didn't take care of yourself because you're so focused on the business, and then you can't even enjoy what you were able to create. It doesn't even make it worth it at that point. Like, why do it, right? If you're not going to be able to enjoy, this life is meant to be able to be enjoyed and to have fun. Um, Obviously, work hard and all that stuff too, but you want to make sure that you're able to enjoy what you work so hard to put together. Um, and there's so many people that you know of that their work causes them stress and they end up having health complications and whatever it may be, strokes, heart attacks because of work and because they're so stressed out. And so at the end of the day, it's not worth it. You got to push yourself. You got to go to an extreme if you really want to make something huge. But you also need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself so that you can see it through and actually um, benefit and enjoy it at the end of the day.
Exactly. You guys know who Monique is? She's a comedian. You may or may not, but she's been off the map for a while. She got like canceled and blackballed and all this stuff a while ago. But anyways, she's a comedian and she's bigger. Like she's known, like that's her thing. Like she's known. She's like, I'm a big girl, whatever. Like that's like her thing. Um, and it's awesome to be proud of that. Be proud of in your own skin, but also there's like a health issue as well. Like, okay, yeah, it's cool, own it. But like you want to be here for a long time, right? So she wasn't really into it, into working out or anything like that. She just that kind of just wasn't her thing. I don't know if it was a thing of just being lazy or what. So I don't want to say that, but she was kind of like that. She owned that character. That was like her persona when she was on stage, and nobody really got through to her except for one time. Her and her husband had a conversation, and he was like, "Hey, like obviously, like I love you, and like it doesn't. I don't want you to change." But I do want you to be here forever. Like I want you to be here for as long with me as long as possible. And we need to make some changes. And I guess the way he said it, she was like, I've never heard anyone say it like that before. Like that was the thing that made me like actually want to like get in shape, work out, take care of myself, eat differently. because it's right. He's right. I do want to be together for as long as we can. And if I'm not taking care of myself, then, you know, it's not really in my control anymore. It's never really in our control like that, but still, like if you're just letting stuff happen, you're doing the opposite effect. So, anyways, I thought about that. That came to mind when you said that. But what about you, Dylan?
Um, you always hear about like the 5 F's, right? Faith, family, fitness, finance, fun, right? Fitness is obviously in there. And so I think as being like, taking back to being an entrepreneur, I think you have to be successful in all areas.
Mm-hmm.
And fitness is one of those areas. Fitness is extremely important because like Morgan said, if you can't build an empire if you're not healthy, if you're in the hospital, you can't be building an empire. And so you have to make sure that the engine's got fresh oil before you take off, And so you gotta take care of yourself. I think it does something too mentally to you, because have you guys, like, when you're working out, like Ed Milet talks about it, you can't be negative or you can't be depressed while you're in the middle of working out. He said you can be depressed in between sets, right? Like that thought can come to your mind, it can affect you, but your body releases these endorphins when you're working out, and they're called feel good chemicals or whatever in your brain. And so like when you're working out, like you guys feel good, right? So it like physically changes your peak state. And so I think if someone's to like start off, if someone's like in feeling depressed or sad or anxious, whatever, not saying this is going to heal everything, but go and work out. That's going to completely change. And especially if like you work out in the morning, you feel like you've accomplished a big task, and then it helps you get a lot of other tasks done. Yeah. It just, I don't know, it does something to you, aside obviously from being healthy.
Yeah.
And that's so important. But I think it also helps you mentally to get other stuff done. And that's key to keep growing.
I agree. I think a lot of times we can fix a lot of our problems, not all of them, but a lot of them, just by getting a workout. Like if we're struggling with something or something's making us, upset us, or we got an argument, or I don't know, something like that. A lot of it can be fixed with just working out, and you get to come back with a different mindset. Like for me, it's almost like I remember one time I just wasn't in a good mood at all. Like I just didn't want to be talked to. And then I ended up going out and boxing, hitting the bag for a little bit, shadow boxing, jump roping. And like before I even finished, I was just like, I had to obviously have music going when you're working out most of the time. And before I was in finish, I'm dancing. I'm like, dude, let's freaking go. Let's get it. I'm pumped up again. And so that's kind of it's almost like it's not artificial, but it's like almost like creating this artificial like pump and this stoke and this excitement. But then it becomes real, and you just kind of you feel good. So I think it's important. Obviously, some people want it because they want to physically look better, or you want to feel better from an emotional standpoint, or you can have both. Obviously, like it's really just a tool to be the best version of yourself. So obviously, how you eat, diet is included in this, and so I want to talk about that a little bit too. Be honest, because I'll be honest, I don't eat the best that I should. I know I don't. Matter of fact, sometimes I eat things. Me and Dylan were just talking about this last night. Sometimes we eat things knowing we shouldn't, but we still do it anyways. And that is also abuse on the body if we know that we're purposely, well, we're not trying, well, we are trying to eat it. So I guess purposely mistreating our body, but we're not doing it with that mindset. So where do you guys see yourself right now as far as diet goes? And where are you trying to go? Like, where's like, all right, I have a long way to go, or what's like your struggle, your guilty pleasure when it comes to eating?
Vegetables all day long.
What do you say?
Vegetables all day long.
Vegetables all day long, as long as they're chocolate covered.
Chocolate covered and filled with ranch dressing. one of the things when it comes to that, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'm like horrible, but I'm not like super health conscious, and that's something I need to change. I need to do better. When it comes to like liquids, I'll have a soda like once every month, right? I'm pretty much just like water all the time.
Good,
So
because I know how much you guys have at the house, so that's really good.
yeah. Like honestly, I feel like I do a pretty good job. That one of the issues when it comes to diets is like if you have it in front of you and you have it in the house, it's so tempting to just eat it or drink it. When it comes to soda, I don't feel like I'm very tempted. Like I don't know. When I drink soda, it doesn't make me feel good after. Like it blows my mind how people can like drink soda and be like, I feel refreshed. And I'm like, I get cotton mouth. Like I feel bloated. Like it doesn't make me feel good at all. And I'm more thirsty. And I'm like, well, now I need water because I'm cotton mouth. So why didn't I just drink water from the first place? So at least for me, so it's not that big of a temptation for me. So water, I feel like I do okay. Um, but yeah, food. I mean, like one of the things that I get most frustrated with, I would admit, is I was talking to a client yesterday. We were talking about side hustles, right? And she was like, "Yeah, I want to do a side hustle." She's like, "I really like to do meal preps. I used to do it for people back in the day, and made some extra money and stuff." And I was like, "Well, hey, listen, I'll tell you what. When I become rich, I'm gonna freaking use you all day because I hate meal prepping. Like it
Yeah.
takes so long." And I was like, "That is like my thing. I don't care about a nanny. I'm never gonna right. Like we're gonna take care of our own kids. My wife and I have already decided. I don't care about like someone to clean the house. Like we can clean the house and my kids can clean the house, right? But the one thing when your boy gets rich is I need someone to do meal preps because I do not want to freaking do that. And it takes so much time. So I would say my I don't know about like guilty pleasure or where I'm kind of lacking and failing would be more of the food area, right? Because like I look in the fridge and I'm like, dude, I'm hungry, and I just don't want to take time to make something that is healthy because it takes time, and
Yep.
so I'll just like, oh, okay, I'll just start taking snacks, right? Like I
Yep.
won't eat anything all day, and I'll just have a couple snacks all day, and I'm like, I know that's not healthy, so that's probably my issue for sure.
Bro, it's
This dude
crazy.
would always have cereal in high
Well,
school.
back in the day, yeah, back in the day, I don't too much anymore, but
What was
back,
the cereal of choice back in the day? What was the cereal of choice?
oh man.
He's like, it just depends what day,
Dude,
baby.
yeah, I
Cinnamon
mean,
Toast Crunch,
I
honeycomb.
freaking
You
love
guys
them
mess
all.
with did you guys used to eat honeycomb?
A little bit. Honey Nut Cheerios a little bit more often for us, but
Okay, for sure.
but
Chex Mix.
Wheaties because your boy's a champion. You know.
You know what I'm saying?
Champion at eating. Freaking this fool, he was like the buffest dude on his team, and he would eat cereal all day long. I didn't get it.
Leche, man. That's where it's all at.
All day. You need those strong bones, man. We need to get McGregor and some milk, bro. On Saturday, that was like, oh man, everyone's like, dude, McGregor needs his milk, bro. Look at his weak bones. And I'm like, oh, don't talk about my boy like that. But it's interesting. I just want to add the point. I want to hear from you, Dylan, right now too. But what you said, Morgan, was like, it made me think about when sometimes we eat just because we're bored.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, like, it's not meal prep because it's just preparing a meal for yourself for that moment. But even for that, not just meal prepping for the whole week, it's like even sometimes in the moment, we open the refrigerator, we're like, what do we want to eat? We're looking around and we don't feel like we know we see a meal right there that we can make, but it's like, I don't feel like doing that right now. I'm not. So you just turn around, you go to the cabinet and you get some you can just peel open and just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I do it all the time. I'm like, man, I don't feel like even making a sandwich, like the simplest of foods. I'm like, I just don't feel like it. Nah, I'm good. And so anyways, I feel like in a way that's self-sabotaging us just because we're not even patient enough to take the time to make a meal that's going to be better for us and make us feel better,
Yeah.
or at least get us the nutrients that we need, versus just, I'm quick, let's, real in and out, let's get a snack real quick. Obviously, it's going to taste better, whatever, and we just kind of go off of that. So, anyways, I want to hear what you got, Dylan. My bad.
No, you're good. I was just gonna acknowledge the fact that Morgan kept saying drank instead of drink. But,
What was I saying?
drank.
Oh,
I
man.
never really drank soda.
That's my hood side coming out from my past life.
I don't want to say anything. I was connecting. I'm saying, I was like, all right, yeah, I feel you.
Lay was connecting, I was disconnecting.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, I ain't drink soda in like 30 years. I'm like,
I
what?
drink
Where
soda.
that accent come from? I'm just kidding.
I'm all saying drink, and Dylan's all like drinks his things like this with his pinky up.
Yeah. I'm like, what was that?
Oh man.
No, yeah. It's funny because Serena and I last year, in the middle of the pandemic, we got this, I don't know if you call them trainer or nutritionist or what, and they gave us like every day a schedule and like what to eat, and it was like specific every few hours, it's like small meals every few hours, and it was good stuff, dude. It was expensive, but it was like steaks and chicken and like seasoned asparagus, just like all different stuff. And having, like Morgan said, having that direction, that guidance makes it a lot easier, because sometimes I get overwhelmed, like, well, I gotta have protein, I gotta have some carbs, I gotta have healthy fats, like I don't want too much sugar, this and that, and oh my gosh, and so that helps a lot. I will say, I was telling Leighton, we were talking about yesterday, one of my struggles is dark chocolate. At the office yesterday, I had my bag of dark chocolate dipped pretzels, and those are.
By the way, he was talking about, I was waiting for you to say the pretzels, because the way I was gonna make a joke was the way you said it. Like, I was telling Leighton last night, dark chocolate's my thing. I was like, he's not talking about me, he's talking about pretzels, bro.
Oh man, don't tell my wife.
It's like, what?
She's like watching the episode. I'm gonna hear her. But yeah, man, dark chocolate, I used to hate it. They say, like, I don't know if it's true, I'm starting to believe it, that your taste buds change every like 10 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Freaking dude, I used to hate dark chocolate. I thought it was bitter and gross, and now I'm like, that's all I want. I know they say it's healthier for you, but I mean, healthier doesn't mean it's healthy.
Yeah. Those are things we tell ourselves too, that like things are good for us and they might be better, but they might not necessarily be good. So I think that's one of the things too.
Yeah, that's true. But I'll believe it's healthy. It's all right.
Exactly. I mean, it's all right. Better than milk chocolate. Like Edgar, our father-in-law has he not drink. Sorry, I almost said drink like Morgan. He eats this super dark chocolate, and it's supposed to be good for your heart. And I just like bitter and like I haven't even tried it, but I know how it tastes because I've had it before. But everyone's like, oh, it tastes like dirt and like whatever. But it's like, okay, that, I mean, I don't know. The doctor told him to eat it, so in that case, you can have that dark chocolate. But
no, that's extra dark.
Yeah, that's that dirt chocolate, man.
I can only have like 60% cacao or less.
For real. Oh man.
That's that dirt chocolate.
Dude,
What's
so
that?
Said that's that dirt chocolate.
That dirt chocolate. I know.
You think about that every time you see a meat nigga, you're like, ah. Oh man. So good deal, guys. So I don't know if there's anything you guys want to add, but I think go ahead.
I'll say after.
Okay, for sure. Now I was just gonna say the importance of obviously taking care of your body. I heard Guillermo Haro talk about it one time. He's like, dude, you don't buy a luxury car and then put cheap gas in it. So why are you doing that to your body? And so that's really my closing comment of like, that stuck out to me. Where I was like, it's true. You just wouldn't do it because it would mess the car up. But we do it all the time because we don't see it immediately. We don't see an immediate reaction sometimes. Like unless you're allergic to something, your body's not going to always tell you right away, hey, don't do this to me. Like, what are you doing? Right. And we need to make sure that we're being cognizant of the fact that we could be messing our bodies up, and we are messing our bodies up if we're not being conscious of eating good, healthy food. So anyways.
That was a good word, cognizant.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Morgan's over here using drink, Lane's using cognizant.
I had to redeem myself, man. I want to make my people sound ignorant, so I was like, let me put my glasses on.
That's funny.
No, it's a great point, Leighton. Last two things I was gonna say was like when it comes to food, a lot of times, like you mentioned before, we just eat because we're bored, and it's so our brother-in-law Jama, he had COVID back in the day. He got hit with COVID, and one of the symptoms is you lose your sense of taste, right? And so he was like, it was so crazy. I didn't have those like cravings that we all have, and we're like, oh dude, I just want one of whatever, a donut right now, or whatever the heck it is. And like we're not even hungry. Our brain is just telling us that we need our kick of azúcar. You know what I'm saying? And like it just wants it because it craves it because it's like so addicting. And if you think about it, since little kids, like we're just freaking fed cereal all day since we're little kids, and cereal is just pure sugar. And so we're just so addicted. And so it's crazy. So he was like, during that time, I had no desire to eat. I only ate when my body like literally needed food. Right. And he was like, it was the craziest thing. I ate like hardly at all because I really didn't need it. And I wasn't feeling that like craving because I had no taste. Um, and so it's kind of interesting. He was like, that told me like right there, like, man, we eat a lot just because like our brains are tricking us, telling us that we need to, but it's not because we're hungry. It's because they just want that kick of that sugar. So that's one thing. And I've noticed it because there's a lot of times when I'm like, oh man, like I can go for like a scoop of ice cream or a snow cone or a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich, and then I eat it, and again I'm like freaking A, dude, like I don't feel good at all. Like, why did I eat that? So it happens all the time. Second thing I was gonna say, and the last thing was Ed Milet has a cool story about what made him change with his health. So he was busting his butt in his business, working hard, and he was starting to get pretty unhealthy. So he went to the doctor. They took some tests, and he said the doctor, when he came in after the tests were done, instead of like saying like, hey, so the test results came out like this and blah blah blah, the first thing that the doctor said was, hey, so do you have children? He's like, yeah, I have a son and a daughter. And he goes, okay. He goes, are you okay with another man walking your daughter down the aisle when she gets married in the future? Because if you continue to do what you're doing, you're not going to be around much longer. And said like it like sent like a shockwave through his system because first off, you don't hear a lot of doctors talk to you like that, right? Usually they're like, okay, so the results came out like this, and we need to do some changes. But this doctor understood that to be able to change to that extent, you have to have a life-altering, a life-changing experience. And his life-changing experience was the doctor helping him visualize what his life will not be in the future if he continues to stay on this path. And it shook him. And obviously, we're all fathers. Leighton and I have a girl, but Dylan, you don't have a girl yet. Hope maybe in the future. But you think about like walking your daughter down the aisle. That's like every dad's dream, And so anyways, he said like that life-changing scenario completely changed him. He said he'd wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and work out, and every morning he'd wake up, he'd say, I'm doing this for my daughter. I'm doing this for my daughter because I need to be able to be alive to be able to walk her down the aisle. So now the dude's like 50, like freaking yoked, super fit. But it started because of the life-altering, life-changing experience. So a lot of times too, we got to think to ourselves, what is it going to take for us to finally say it's time? Like I need to take care of myself. So anyways, that's kind of my last thoughts.
Woo-hoo. Mic drop, man. Thank you, Morgan, for offering the closing prayer. But that was amazing. So good, dude. Man, I'm telling you, dude, it's stuff like that, man. I love hearing those stories. And I heard it before, but it's always nice to hear it again and again and again. Because if that kind of situation, that scenario hasn't happened to you yet, you can kind of artificially kind of create it for yourself from hearing these stories. So I think that's huge. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So, man, another good one. So we got to take care of ourselves. I'm speaking to myself for sure. Need to get better with that. I think a lot of times, I'll say me, sorry. I think a lot of times I'm just like, oh, I'm young, I'm good. I don't look big, I'm still thin, whatever. But it's about internal too. It's not just always how you look. And I need to remember that. And I think a lot of us out there need to remember that. Because most of the time you're going to look pretty decent when you're young because you're young. But got to get better than that and make sure we're getting 1% better each day. And that includes taking care of our body where you work out, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, or 2 hours. It doesn't really matter. Just move your body, treat your body right, put good gasoline in it, not cheap gasoline. And we'll be here to see the next day, man. So appreciate you guys.